Northeast Oklahoma is a place of deep roots and long memories. If you live there, you're likely connected to the Beach family. Their story spans decades, a family so large it feels like a city unto itself. But for Joshua Beach, being part of a big family didn't mean protection. It meant being invisible. While the branches of the family tree grew thick, the shade they provided never reached Joshua. He grew up in the wake of a family that had decided to prune its troubled limbs. Nieces and nephews were told to avoid his side of the tree, while aunts and uncles turned a blind eye. They left Joshua and his siblings to fend for themselves in the wreckage of addiction. It was a world where a child was surrounded by blood relatives, yet lived like an orphan. The cycle didn't start with Joshua. He grew up on the story of his grandfather, Cecil, who did jail time for child support on a kid that wasn't even his. That injustice left a mark on Joshua's father, Ray Beach. Ray had his own demons and his shortcomings. As a father, would ensure that Joshua would never make his kids feel the way his father made him feel at times. For a time, there was a different path. Joshua was raised until age 14 by his other grandfather, Henry Loudenbach. He was a man of law and order who served as a sheriff and managed Brink's armored trucks. He was a spiritual man of few words who shared many pearls of wisdom with Joshua. He tried to provide a foundation of discipline and faith, but when that pillar was gone, Joshua was left to navigate a storm without a compass. By age 8, Joshua was already forced into an adult's responsibility, signing himself in and out of the Tulsa Boys and Girls Club just to ensure he had a place to be. His childhood became a map of Oklahoma's institutions, from the Tulsa Boys Home to the United Methodist Children's Home in Tahlequah. From age 10 to 11, he attended school while in day treatment at the Children's Medical Center on Skelly Drive in Tulsa. He wasn't a problem child. He was a child without a protector, navigating a trauma-filled world while the rest of his family watched from a distance. Though his father had told him to hold out for a ticket to join him, it never showed up. This left a permanent stain on his mind, a lingering sense of abandonment that he could never quite scrub away. He was 15 when violence claimed his innocence. Joshua was kidnapped and beaten with a tire iron by a man named Stephen Lurch Pennell. After going through what most would call a teen in crisis and injured with a horrific head injury from the beating, his mother voluntarily abandoned him at a Tulsa juvenile detention facility, as if it was a junkyard for troubled teens. She called him expendable. He was eventually shuffled between Kojak and Tecumseh and Raider and Sand Springs, a facility later shut down for systemic abuse. While he was locked away on the strength of her stories, the rest of the family remained silent. He emerged from that trauma knowing the only person he could count on was himself. At the same time, he became a product of his environment and was on a path to the penitentiary. Some of the hardest time you can do in Oklahoma is at what locals call the Creek County Dungeon, and Beach became a fixture there. He was now stuck in the revolving door of the Oklahoma justice system. The chaos of his world only intensified. The hits kept coming. His mother's ex-partner, Joe, allegedly murdered a man known in Wagoner as the Candy Man, which put a strain on the family. Being around Joe was jarring, because Joe's friends and acquaintances were older street gangsters. Not only did Josh have to fight for his space, but he was always at odds with them. As life crept along, friends and family spiraled into tragedies that would be immortalized in true crime books and episodes of the First 48. But nobody, not even Joshua, could guess what the year 2003 would hold. It's 2003 in the swampy marshland of East Texas. The air is thick and humid. Police helicopters crisscross the horizon as howling canines and sirens are heard in the distance. Keys jingle on the belts of police officers as they splash their way knee-deep through thick and stagnant muck. Joshua Beach and his close brother-like friend, Matthew Abrego, stagger their way through the swamp. It started as a multi-state crime spree and led to the theft of a firearm from a Texas Ranger. Joshua worked his way through the muddy cypress bogs, and once again he was running, mentally and physically. This is what he did his whole life. It's all he knew, running from the silence of his family and the shadows of empathy. The difference between Joshua and others, is he cared about people. He still had love to give and still had dreams. He still had that innocent sensitivity. As he worked his way across the swamp, events in his life flashed. One thing stuck out especially: the fact his grandfather died alone in a nursing home and didn't even get a headstone when he was buried. When all the dust of these events settled, Joshua would be stuck in a tangled knot within the legal system that zipped him back and forth between Oklahoma, Texas, Michigan, Missouri, and several other states. He did stretches at some of the worst facilities in the region, from Bradshaw State Prison and the notorious Beta 1 unit in Texas, to several dreadful county jails in Oklahoma and Connors Correctional Center in Hominy. At the end of all his time, from his teen years to adulthood, he did a total of 11 years. Sometimes we are in the most unsuspecting of places, when we are awakened to turn a page in life. In a Tulsa County jail cell, all the tragedies, misfortune, and trauma led to a turning point for Joshua. He realized the Beach legacy didn't have to be a theoretical prison sentence or generational tragedy. It didn't have to be a kid fending for himself. Josh decided he was going to love himself and break all the chains and cycles that put him in that very cell physically, emotionally, and generationally. Upon release, he hightailed it to Utah. He learned how to truly humble himself. He slept on floors and swallowed his pride. He joined the LDS Church. He wasn't just changing his life. He was reclaiming a name that had been dragged to the mud for 3 generations. Today, Joshua Beach is building a life that was once denied to him. He has built a modern home off the grid with his own hands that's a sanctuary for his family. He is raising Nathan, the son of the man who died in prison, because Joshua knows exactly what it feels like to be the boy no one wants to claim. He's a family man and is giving his kids everything he never received. He has stood before juries and federal agents and walked away vindicated. Life has not been a big pink cloud. He's been through trials and tribulations since he reset his life. He has been tested with situations of betrayal and possible financial ruin that most people couldn't imagine. Josh kept his head up and fell back on what he's learned. It wasn't about what he was going through. It was about the man he was becoming and the growth he's experiencing on a daily basis. He still carries the trauma of those nights in the children's hospital. He's still searching for his biological son. He is no longer expendable. He is the cornerstone of a new legacy. Like Bukowski said, "We are here to laugh at the odds and live our lives so well that death will tremble to take us.